A week before my wedding, my family told me that my sister got pregnant by my fiance and that they would be getting married, so I should step out of their lives. I cut off my family for 2 years, but then my mom appeared at my door with a kid, asking me to show mercy to my unfortunate sister and take care of it because it's my blood after all. For context, I had been with my ex-fiance Rob for 3 years when we got engaged and when he decided to start cheating on me with my sister. My sister, Nora, is 2 years younger than me and was always a jealous brat. Whatever I wanted, she always wanted the exact same thing, and most of the time she got her way. Our parents would totally coddle her the entire time she was growing up, and I guess that's why she grew up to be a spoiled, entitled, and insecure brat. It didn't bother me that she always got her way. It also got on my nerves that she was a huge copycat, and then she would pretend like I was the one copying her. Whenever we even thought about these things, my parents would intervene and ask me to let it go, since these were petty things and I needed to be the bigger person. But honestly, I was sick of being the bigger person all the time just because I was older, and eventually my relationship with my sister became really bitter, and I was glad to leave for college because that meant that I wouldn't have to stay in the same house as them anymore. And college is where I met Rob and we became friends. He was the one who asked me out after almost 2 years of crushing on each other, but never making a move, because we were too scared to ruin our friendship. But I guess around the time we graduated, he worked up the nerve to finally do it. And I said yes to going out with him, which was probably the biggest mistake of my life. Because after dating for 3 years, he decided to ask me to marry him, and once again, I said yes. We had already met each other's families by then, but because I was not very close to my family, he had only met my folks a handful of time. However, after we got engaged, there were a lot of instances where he met my family more, included Nora. I never really suspected anything because when the two of us were together, Rob never gave me a reason to doubt him. He seemed pretty head over heels in love with me, and I loved him. So for me to even think that he would end up cheating on me with Nora, it seemed too unlikely to happen. Now, looking back on it, I guess he was just a really good actor and did a fantastic job of convincing me that nothing was going on when, in fact, he and Nora had started flirting behind my back a couple of weeks after we got engaged. Of course, Nora had been the one to initiate it. I know that for a fact because she had confessed to it. And Rob had held back for about a month or so before he finally started responding to her advances. Unfortunately, by the time I even found out about any of this, there was just 1 week left to go for my wedding. The only reason they had even decided to tell me that they had started having an affair was because Nora had managed to get herself knocked up by Rob. And by the time they told me about it, she was already 9 weeks along. Pretty much everybody knew about it before I did, which is why they had called for a family meeting a week before my wedding, and I had actually expected it to be a surprise for me or something. But I had left this so-called meeting in tears that day. And 2 years have passed since then, but it's still the worst day of my life. My parents were there, Rob's parents were there, and of course, Rob and Nora were also there. They sat me down and the two of them told me that a couple of weeks after my engagement, Nora had reached out to Rob and started flirting with him. And he hadn't responded at first, but slowly, he started warming up to her because she was funny and kind of cute.
Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more.